Based on your experience with the privatized housing program, are you more or less likely to recommend military service to a friend or relative and their family?
Based on what I've gone through as a military spouse, I've become very disenfranchised by what has happened in my research over the last 2 years. I wouldn't recommend my own children to join the service, and my husband's been a Marine for almost 12 years.
Jana?
I would not recommend it after everything that we have been through, especially health-wise. And when our accommodations were not met for our EFMP child, I think that pretty much solidified the decision that we will never live in base housing again, and we will never recommend it to anyone ever again. And I think it would be difficult to recommend joining the service to anyone if they wanted to live in base housing.
I agree. I would never recommend anyone to live in base housing. I enjoyed my time living on base until I discovered that our home was making us very sick. The amenities of living on base are are wonderful, but the homes are definitely making people sick.
What was your experience in trying to raise this with the chain of command? Do you believe that they responded appropriately? Do you believe they have enough authority to intervene on your behalf to hold the contractors accountable? And are you aware of any actions that the military or the Department of Defense took to hold the companies financially accountable when these problems were exposed?
Thank you for your question. In my personal experience going through the chain of command, we had no help, even though I had volunteered over 1,300 hours with that chain of command. Further, my family readiness officer had actually been retaliated against for standing up for our family against Lincoln Military Housing.
We didn't have the opportunity to reach out to my husband's chain of command because everything just happened so quickly. And honestly, we did not know that it was an option. We thought that maybe since it was a private company, that maybe the military's hands were tied and the chain of command would not be able to be as effective as our own voices. So we just dealt with it on our own.
My husband's command, his direct command was very helpful to us, provided things we weren't able to afford after this happened to us. But that's about as high up as it went. We did not get help from the base commander. It seemed like lip service. We received letters, and we had a town hall meeting that he was actively a part of, and I've put links to that town hall in my binder. I hope you would have a chance to look at that. And the military housing liaison that we have at Tinker is exceptional, in my opinion. That's not the case at most bases. They do not have help from their military housing liaisons there. I wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. Let me begin by reiterating how frustrated I am by the experience of the families we have heard from today who live in houses under the management of your companies. In choosing to participate in the military housing privatization initiative, your companies didn't just land another real estate deal. You assumed responsibility for the safety, health, and well-being of military families who make incredible sacrifices each and every day in support of our national defense. In response to the recent reporting on problems in your housing units, many of you have pointed to satisfaction numbers showing resident approvals as high as 70 or low 80% ranges. However, those satisfaction surveys are clearly at odds with the heartbreaking testimony that we've heard today. And even that would still put somewhere between 20 and 30% of families in average or below average conditions. In written testimony submitted for this hearing, the Military Family Advisory Network states that they have conducted a survey with nearly 17,000 respondents and found, quote, more than half, 55.53% of respondents had a negative or very negative experience with privatized military housing. I would like each of you to answer the following questions. What percentage of military families do you believe deserve to live in excellent on-base housing?
Senator, 100%.
We agree, Senator, 100%.
100%, Senator.
Everybody, 100%, Senator.
100%, Senator.
How many military children deserve to be exposed to mold, lead, or other health hazards as a consequence of living in privatized housing units?
Senator, none of them.
I agree, Senator, 0.
0, Senator.
I agree, Senator, 0.
I also agree, Senator, 0.
Do you think it's easier or harder for a service member to focus on their military duties while also worrying about the health and safety of their families?
Harder, Senator.
It's always harder, Senator.
It's much harder, Senator.
No doubt much harder, Senator.
It's harder, Senator.
In so many of the stories that we've heard today from these families, the maintenance procedures that you've put in place have failed to ensure quality in housing units. In your written testimony, many of you pointed to quick response statistics for work orders in military homes. But if those issues aren't addressed properly, if mold is painted over or water damage misdiagnosed, families remain in danger. Further, many of the families have experienced cold and insensitive treatment from the local representatives of your companies, subsidiaries, and partners responsible for addressing the problem. Do you expect your staff working on installations as technicians to be capable of both remediating work orders and showing genuine concern for the families impacted?
Absolutely, Senator.
We would expect nothing less, Senator.
We absolutely agree, Senator.
Absolutely agree, Senator.
Yes, they should be able to do both, Senator.
How many contractors or service technicians have each of your companies fired for unsatisfactory performance in completing work orders in military housing?
I don't have that exact number, but it's multiple.
I also do not have exact number, but it's significant.
Senator, we are a company of accountability, and if someone's falling short of expectations, we take action.
Senator, I don't have the exact number on hand, but similar to the other organisations, we take it very seriously and we will move people on if they're not doing their work.
Senator, I don't have the exact number either, but we have made that decision to separate from personnel when they don't do the right thing and follow our policies and procedures.
Thank you for your testimony. From your answers, I can conclude that you agree this is something we must fix. It is an urgent issue. It does not represent our values as a country, and it does not sound like it represents your values as companies. So I expect your 100% commitment to solving this problem.